I thought something wrong with me.
गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. We are in Vivek Chudamani, verse number 545, and here we are looking at the final advice of Adi Shankaracharya to the student, and here in the 545th verse he says, अपि कुर्वन्न कुर्वाणः अपि कुर्वन्न कुर्वाणः चाभोक्ता फलभोग्यपि चाभोक्ता फलभोग्यपि शरीर्यपि शरीरयप्यशरीर्येष शरीर्यप्यशरीर्येष परिच्छिन्नोऽपि सर्वगः परिच्छिन्नोऽपि सर्वगः अपि कुर्वन्न कुर्वाणः चाभोक्ता फलभोग्यपि शरीर्यप्यशरीर्येष परिच्छिन्नोऽपि सर्वगः. Such a master, although seems to be engaged in activities, is not the doer, although experiencing a variety of experiences as he is not experiences, yet he is not the experiencer. Although living in the body, does not live as the body, and although appears to be limited, is all pervading. All contradictions. And this is a very these verses can be understood only by a available mind, a mind which is not dull, mind which is purified. How can he be doing and yet not doing? How can he be experienced not experiencing? How can he be living in the body, does not live as the body? Okay. All contradictions. And here he says, such a master, although seems to be engaged in activities, is not the doer. The truth is that we are not the doer. It is impossible for us to do any actions because the spirit, the self, it's the non-doer. The world is going on changing of its own accord. Your senses are functioning of their own accord. The mind is thinking thoughts of its own accord. When you want to think something, it doesn't come. When you don't want to think something, the thought keeps coming in your mind. So which means we have no control over mind. See? So when he says that that from the standpoint of the world, standpoint of ours, when we look at a master, we see him functioning. We see that he's saying, now I'm hungry, give me food, or I have to go there, or I have to do this, or this has to be done, or that has to be done. We superimpose the doership on him because we are thinking about him like we are thinking about ourselves. See? And then we don't stop there. We even do the same thing to God also. We say, oh, God is the creator of the creation. He is meting out merit, good experiences and bad experiences to us. God doesn't do anything. He is ever the same. For him, the world is not separate from him. So if the world is not separate for the Lord, then how can he how can he be the doer? For doer, the basic requirement is differences. There are no differences within him. Similarly, in the realized master also, who has come to abide in his essential nature, when he looks back, there is only self. There is nothing else apart from him, apart from the self. But we human beings, what are we seeing? We are seeing, I shouldn't say human beings, we individuals, what are we seeing? We are limited, we also see limited. So we see the limited body, we see the limited actions of that master. But he himself, he is abiding in his essential nature. So for us, he is an individual master, an individual who has come to know the self, but we still consider him to be the body. We still consider him to be the body. But even though we see activities happening at the level of body, mind, intellect, senses in the master, he is not the doer of any activity. The sun is not the creator of activity on the earth. It is always there. People get up and people become active. We can't say the sun is the doer of all the activity on the earth. But in his presence, everything happens. Exactly the same way. Exactly the same way. In the presence of the self, all activity happens. And where does activity happen? Activity happens at the gross, subtle and level and the causal level. So all these three. And what is the activity happening? If this witness, if this eternal witnessing self gets identified with the body, with the activity at the body level, he becomes the waker. If he becomes identified with the activity at the subtle level, okay, first was gross level. If he gets identified with the subtle level, then he is the dreamer. And when he gets identified with zero activity, that is the causal state, he becomes the sleeper. But waker, dreamer and sleeper precipitate only due to identification. And that is we. We are going through, shunting through these three. But the master, he has woken up. He does not, his self does not come down to the level of waker, dreamer and deep sleeper. There is no identification there. I think it was last week when I said all the erring personality, the waker is ending with ER, dreamer is ending with ER, sleeper is ending with ER, seer, hearer, toucher, taster, thinker, feeler, experiencer, knower, father, mother, daughter, sister, uncle is realized, no ER in it. So wherever ER is, it is on account of identification only. You are becoming someone, but actually you are not. You are independent principle, and this is what the master has realized, This is what the seeker has realized. And this is the advice being given by Shankaracharya to him. Hey, be careful. Don't come down. Don't get identified again. Don't get attached again. The way the masters live is where are we? Such a master, although seems to be engaged in activities, is not the doer. He does not do, yet all activity happens. Because the truth is, we saw that in in Shiva Shakti Samavesh, in Amrit Anubhav, that all activity is at the Prakriti matter level. Then second part, although experiencing a variety of experiences, yet he is not the experiencer. Experiences will happen. To whom will the experiences happen? To whom? So right now I am looking at myself. That was one experience. Then I look at Usha, second experience. Then I look at Martha, third experience. Then I look at Neelkantan, fourth experience. Then I look at laptop, fifth experience. And we are continuously going through these experiences, isn't it? But where are these experiences taking place? Are they taking place in the self? Or are they taking place at the level of equipment?
Equipment, Swamiji.
Mind. Yes. So it is happening. So this phenomena is going on. Nothing, you cannot stop that. The phenomena will continue. But there is, in the master, there is no owner of this phenomena. If eyes are seeing, there is no seer born. If ears are hearing, hearer is not born. Experience is happening, experiencer is not born. We allow ourselves to be hijacked by what we see, hear, touch, feel, taste, experience, know, waking world, dream world, deep sleep world, and correspondingly become the experiencer of that particular what we have got identified with. But the realized master, he does not fall down to that level. He allows I can't even say the word allows, because his vision is that of oneness. And in his presence, the gross, subtle and causal, they are functioning, and let them function. You cannot stop them. How long will they function? As long as the prarabdha is there. Prarabdha of what? Prarabdha of the jiva, of the conscious principle? No. Prarabdha is not of the conscious principle. Prarabdha is for the gross and subtle. See? We get identified with gross and subtle, and therefore for us the world becomes a real. Anyone who is identified with gross, subtle and causal as I am, his journey will be extrovert. His journey will be extrovert on account of that identification. So the whole spiritual journey is trying to bring about such a disposition wherein we cut the umbilical cord with the matter, with the gross, subtle and causal. Right now we think we are the body, we are the mind, we are the awaker, we are the dreamer, we are the sleeper. And yet life is teaching us every day how to cut this umbilical cord. When you change one role from the other, you have to cut the cord of attachment from the first one, only then you can move to the next. When you go from waking to dream, dream to deep sleep, you cannot do it without dropping the obsession of that particular state. from the dream when we wake up. As beautiful as the dream may be, after waking up, we give it zero value. So we know how to do it. But somewhere something is amiss. When it comes to the waking world, we want to continue it from yesterday to today and today to tomorrow. Somewhere we are going wrong. And this needs to be assessed by us. If we want to be in that experienceless experience, where we are not the doer, yet activity is happening. Right now we feel that if I don't do it, how will it happen? If I don't cook, how will the dinner happen? If I don't listen, how will satsang happen? If I don't understand, how will realization take place? Or how will I go on my journey? How will I chart my further progress? This is the disservice that we are doing to ourselves. N number of masters, they never studied any scriptures. They went with their heart. They knew it was the right thing. They did not study scriptures. So if we are studying scriptures, okay, because we are intelligent, so we are studying scriptures. If we are studying scriptures, our goal must be clear, that all these words, what they are talking about, that I am. And if I am aware of the one all these verses are talking about, the self, don't keep self as a concept, that I am essentially at this moment, then obsession with these scriptures also must drop. It must drop. And if that is not happening, if while I am studying these verses in my own time, sometime I take some japa, or sometimes I take the Panchadashi and just chant the whole chapter, just chant. Or I take the Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. If that is not leading to silence, then we are going wrong somewhere in our approach. See? We must come to all. The only reason it will not happen is because we are addicted to listening. We are addicted to knowledge. We are addicted to words. We are addicted to concepts. And why we are addicted to concepts? Because we have taken self also to be a concept. That is the reason. See, we are not seeing what the words are indicating. But okay, I understand what the words are indicating. It is the self. But then self also, we keep it as an objective approach, not as a subjective realization. So this is the word of advice that Adi Shankaracharya is giving him, that don't judge this person, even though he's not, even though you see him doing something, actually he is not the doer. If he is experiencing something, he is not the experiencer. If you see him talking, he is not the talker. Now you don't start copy paste on yourself that I'm going to behave this way. These things must happen.
Each individual's path is different.
Say loudly, I can't hear.
You can't copy paste because each individual's path is different.
Actually speaking, there is no path only.
That's what
Ah.
Gautamada Acharya says, no path, because like footprints of birds in the sky.
Yes, it's a pathless path.
Pathless path.
What path will the wave pursue in order to realize water? What path will the ornament, what path will ornament pursue or practice in order to realize it is gold? Similarly, find the answer in yourself. Similarly, what path this individual consciousness pursue or practice in order to realize that it is the infinite one? If the answer to the first two example was no path, then the same applies to us also, no path. Then why are we elongating? Why are we creating a path where there is no path? Because of our obsession to this body, with this body. See? So sit coolly sometime and just, once it has to click.
Yes.
Once it has to click. When mother, after 9 months of pregnancy, gives birth to a child, automatically the motherhood comes in her. Automatically the milk starts flowing. Exactly the same way. Right now, if we think we are the individuals, okay. Now, if you can't do anything but think, okay, think. But then think in such a way that this individuality drops and thinking also drops. Don't go in circles within your mind, coming to conclusion that it is a difficult journey, it is a difficult path. Majority people say this only when we tell them, or no, that is very difficult, Swamiji. How will that be possible? I am not Jnaneshwar Maharaj, I am not Adi Shankara, I am not Ramakrishna, I am not Raman Maharishi. We are Grahasthas, as if that is a qualification. When we are saying every scripture is roaring and telling us you are the Satchidanand Parabrahma. No. That is okay, but we are Grahastha first. Then continue. So we have to So recognize that although living in the body does not live as the body, the consciousness expressing through this body in the individual, it is expressing as the body. In you and me, it is expressing as the body. We have accepted ourselves that I am the body, that I was born, I was going to die, I am afraid of corona, or I am happy of corona because I am locked for next 6 weeks in the house. Because we have accepted ourselves as the body. Make a shift, accept yourself as the spirit, as the consciousness. And then our thinking must be such that it establishes that we are the consciousness. Don't think in such a way that again I am the body gets established. No. So, in the presence of the self, the gross, subtle and causal, they are acting, they are coming and going, and this consciousness is it to the others it appears to be limited, but actually it is all pervasive. The water appears to be limited in a wave, but actually water is all pervasive. In that manner, ashariram sada santam, ashariram sada santam, imam brahma vedam kvachit, imam brahma vedam kvachit, priya priyena sprushataha, priya priyena sprushataha, tathaiva cha shubha shubhe, tathaiva cha shubha shubhe. अशरीरं सदा सन्तं इमं ब्रह्मवेदं क्वचित् प्रिया प्रियेण स्पृशतः तथैव च शुभाशुभे. Ever rooted in the experience of being other than the body, For this wise man abiding in the Brahman, there is nothing like desirable or not desirable, auspicious or inauspicious. They do not touch him. We are not talking about someone above the clouds. We are talking about the self. We are talking about the self that we are, that I am. So, right now, if you consider yourself to be the self, then auspicious, inauspicious obsession will go away. That I got this human body, I am so thankful to the Lord because satsang is coming. I must have done good merits in my past life. That has gone out of the system. No merit, demerits. Merit, demerit, ghost, ashubh, ashubh, likes, dislikes, sukha, dukkha. All these are for the ghost, and you are not the ghost. Ghost is the individuality. We are the reality. Our essence is the reality. Accept that. Don't allow it to get hijacked by the gross, subtle and causal. Don't allow it to get hijacked by the world in other words, by the senses or the emotions or the concepts, ideas which are there in the intellect. Don't allow it to get hijacked by anything. For that, a little bit of, alertness, vigilance is required. For us, continuously, here it says, such a master, where are we? Ashariram. Ashariram sada santam. Such a wise man, he is living without body identification. So, what is the consequence of this ashariram sada? Always without identified with the body. So, what does it mean? That whatever is happening at the sensory level, shariram here just doesn't mean the gross body. It means gross, subtle and causal. So whatever is happening at the gross body level, health, ill health, comfort, discomfort, heat, cold, anything happening at the subtle body level, likes, dislikes, auspicious, inauspicious. In fact, when we are identified with the subtle, we move around in this world and we keep dividing into this is conducive, this is not conducive, this is conducive, this is not conducive. In other words, this is auspicious, this is not auspicious. And what is auspicious, I desire again. And what is inauspicious, I desire that it must not happen again. So both are desires only. But this wise man, he has transcended the gross, subtle and causal, and therefore unaffected. Unaffected. The mouth may complain, I got pain, oh my God, I am hungry. This is what the other people will hear. He will also go to sleep. Who? The mind will go to sleep. Mind will wake up. Mind will feel hungry. And if someone, his body disidentified, okay, let me poke him with a, with a pin. He will react. The body will react. But there is no owner. Those are instinctive reactions. The matter instinctively reacts. See? When we bite our tongue, we don't go through the process that now I must use my teeth to massage the tongue. It's spontaneous, it's instantaneous. The moment our finger goes into our eyes, immediately the same finger goes and massages the eye to bring it back to norm. There's no thought process there. Exactly the same way. At the matter level, these things are going on. But it has, and in you also, whatever is going on at the gross, subtle, and causal level at this moment or throughout the day, let it go on. You stand apart. Don't get identified. But for us, in satsang, we get an inkling that we are apart from all this. But rest of the day, 22 and a half hours, we live in attachment to the body. Then how will we create a momentum at this moment? As long as we think that we are the individual and we have to do something, you have to create a momentum of, you have to remain, you have to abide, you have to remain vigilant that it keeps feeding it's not an idea, it's the disposition that I am the witnessing consciousness, that I am not concerned. I must be, as much as I am at this moment, I am identified with the body, that more than that, I must accept that I am the self. See? And some people, when they are, and this, you don't even have to realize to bring this about. If you just do japa or you sit in contemplation, you will forget everything else if that contemplation catches you from within. See? For this wise man abiding in Brahman, imam Brahma vidam kvachit, priya, then he says, there is nothing like, for such a person who is abiding in the self, abiding in Brahman, for him there is nothing like desirable or not desirable, because desires are only for the individual. Desire is for that self which is as if identified with the body, and desire is always about something that is other than the body. See, other than the self, other than the self. For that there is desire, or whether it is shubha or ashubh, auspicious or inauspicious, they do not touch him. Just like the food you have eaten in the dream does not touch you, does not make you satisfied after you wake up, or the experiences that you have had in the dream, they don't satisfy the waker. Exactly the same way, all these experiences of the body, or on account of the body, they do not satisfy, they do not make a dent, they do not invoke a reaction, or I should say invoke a response even from the master. So if, then what will become our sadhana? Move around in this world without reacting to anything. But for every thing we have to react. Now 6 weeks we are going to be inside reaction. So live a reactionless life. Don't allow anything. Anandamai Ma used to say, our Swamiji was telling, Dekho, suno, bolo mat. Look, this is our sadhana. Look, listen, don't speak. This was Anandamai Ma's mantra. He used to tell everyone. But we want to give opinion everywhere. We want to put our tongue everywhere. See? Continuing, excuse me. स्थूलादिसम्बन्धवतोऽभिमानिनः स्थूलादिसम्बन्धवतोऽभिमानिनः सुखं च दुःखं च शुभाशुभे च सुखं च दुःखं च शुभाशुभे च विध्वस्तबन्धस्य सदात्मनो मुनेः विध्वस्तबन्धस्य सदात्मनो मुनेः कुतः शुभं वाप्यशुभं फलं वा कुतः शुभं वाप्यशुभं फलं वा स्थूलादिसम्बन्धवतोऽभिमानिनः सुखं च दुःखं च शुभाशुभे च विध्वस्तबन्धस्य सदात्मनो मुनेः कुतः शुभं वाप्यशुभं फलं वा. He says, he who is living in identification with the gross and subtle body, for him alone joy and sorrow, auspicious and inauspicious, is meaningful. Same thing what we said before. So, what is the basic requirement for merit, demerit, auspicious, inauspicious, inside, outside, holy, unholy, godly, devilish? For all these opposites which are coexisting, for all these opposites, what is the minimum requirement? The minimum requirement is you must be identified with the body. There you go. So if you are not identified with the body, God also is thrown out of the window, and the divine also is thrown out, and undivine is also thrown out. In Amrut Anubhav, Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, hey, you are calling that truth Satchidananda. It is an abuse to that truth. It is an abuse to that self, to call it self. It is an abuse to call it Satchitananda, existence, consciousness, bliss. Then why do we call it, or why do the scriptures use those words? To cancel asat. Sat is existence, to cancel non-existence, to cancel ignorance, to cancel the miseries. The Satchidananda is used. And then he doesn't stop there. In the next chapter he says there is nothing called ignorance also. And it's a huge chapter. Now, so many verses he has given. And in every verse you will feel, yeah man, he's so right. Then why am I experiencing the ignorance? The moment you ask the question, why am I experiencing? I must. Yes, there is no experience. If you say there is no ignorance, you are in ignorance. If you accept it, you are in ignorance. If you reject it, also you are in ignorance. Because there is nothing called ignorance. It's only a figment of imagination. There is only one truth. And that truth is the self that I am. This consciousness that I am. Apart from it, nothing else is. Realization of this is the purpose of our existence. So here he says, so joys, sorrows, likes, dislikes, merit, demerit, auspicious, inauspiciousness, desires, no desires, love, hate, attachment, detachment, knowledge, ignorance, all these are for the one who is identified with the body. In other words, who is living at the body level. What does it mean to live at the body level? It means all this. Even more gross. This is subtle. All these opposites. More gross than that, living at the level of possessions and relations is living at the body level. Let it click by God's grace one day that this is where we are going wrong. And it will not come, this click will not come by thinking about I don't want possessions and I don't want relations. It will not come by that. It will come about only when I am completely available to myself, to the self that I am. Then only this click will come. But as long as I am looking away from the self, or as long as the self is looking away at something else in order to establish itself, till then this click will not come. A certain amount of, as a seeker, a certain amount of introvertedness is required. A subjective orientation is required. And that subjective orientation, yes, you are thinking about that subject in the mind, but what that word subject is indicating is you, because the thoughts are happening in your presence. The ideas are coming in the mind in your presence. The waking, dream and deep sleep is happening in your presence. Desires or no desires are happening in your presence. You are witnessing it. You are illuminating them. That's why you are able to talk about it. Who is this fellow? That one I am. The one who has never changed, who is ever the same. So in this manner,
Swamiji,
who's this?
Kripa.
Kripa.
Everything is an imagination.
Yes, you are also in this question also. Yes.
Kripa is also imagination.
Yes, Kripa is only a name given by someone. Kripa is just a name given by someone.
Yes.
Do you have any proof that you are a daughter of your parents?
No proof.
No proof. Only their word, isn't it? Only their birth certificate. Isn't it?
Yeah, true.
So no proof. So let body be theirs. It was, you did not create the body, they created the body. It is. See, what is the rule that everything is not real? What does it mean? What is not real? Everything that is changing is not real. Everything that has a beginning and end is not real. Understand? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So everything that is changing is not real. Now, do you feel you are changing? Or do you say,
No,
my body is changing, my emotions are changing, my breath is changing, my health is changing, my ideas are changing, my imaginations are changing? Isn't it? That's what we say. We never say, I am changing.
So everything is like a dream.
Everything is like a dream only. Yes. But don't focus on the dream. After saying everything is like a dream, don't focus on the dream. Focus on the one which is permanent. So when I'm saying that everything is changing, the body is changing, breath is changing, mind is changing, emotions are changing, then what is not changing? Focus on that one. The one who knows, isn't it?
Yes.
That all these are changing. So right now what is our position? That we define the self that we are on account of all the changing things. That I was one day, I was a baby, then I was a teenage, then I was and every day, every year I celebrate my birthdays. If someone asks you, when you give a resume, how will you prove yourself you are? Or when you go to the immigration, how will you prove who you are? You have to give your passport, but are you the passport?
No.
No. Passport is only an identification paper. That is not you, it's just a paper. So this is how this individual props himself up by creating more and more and more associations. And when these associations become too much, then he breaks down. Crisis. Before that crisis happens, which is called death, let's stop getting identified with everything. Stop creating relationship with everything, and come to realize that yes, all these relationships are only possible because I am there. The conscious principle is there. Whether these relationships are there or not there, they don't define me. I am independent of all these relationships. I am independent of the body, breath, mind, intellect. The body, breath, mind, intellect equipment functions because I am there. At the time of death, something is missing in the body, isn't it? What is that? After death, you cannot catch it. You have to catch it while living. What is that? Because you must have come across people dying, and you have seen that when someone dies, something is missing in that person. And that is why the body starts stinking, the heat goes away, the body starts shrinking. So what is that which is missing from that? We cannot find that out at the time after death. We have to catch it before death. Because I'm talking like that because we are individual at this moment. So for that we have to put efforts contemplating about that principle as I, come to abide in that, and thereafter let the body go through whatever it has to go through. See, Akhandanandji Maharaj, Neem Karoli Baba Maharaj, Gondavlekar Maharaj. Gondavlekar Maharaj's mum, she got him married 2 times. 2 times. Yet he remained a master. He did not come down from that level. Neem Karoli Baba, huge 7-footer. His family was there. Akhandanandji Maharaj, his 2 sons were there, his wife was there, but he was living a life of sannyasi. Jnaneshwar Maharaj, he was living with his 2 brothers and a sister. We don't have to change the outside circumstances to prove that we are sannyasi, to prove that we are God oriented or divine oriented. Because if we are changing the outside scenario, all we are doing is escaping. And majority of the people who take sannyas are escapists. But you have to live in this world wherever life has placed you, and yet, in spite of everything that is going on around, we have to make ourselves available to ourselves, just like you are doing right now. In spite of everything, you guys are working, you have your families, you have your breakfast, lunch, dinner going on, children are dependent on you, yet you are finding time, you are finding the space within your busy schedule because you are committed to this. See, and that is the right approach. Not running away from family, not running away from the world, not running away from the circumstances. Because wherever we run away, there our mind is. I gave you one example long time ago. One of my known brahmachari friends, and after he got sannyas, immediately he started feeling that now, because he has done his shraddha of the body and everything, all that ritual was gone through, sudden vairagya came. And he wanted to go to the Himalayas to meditate in a cave. Must have read many books here and there. So Swamiji told him, don't go to Himalayas, I'll find you a cave somewhere near Bombay. You go and experiment there first. So, just in Lonavala there is a temple, and behind the temple there are quite a few caves. So he told the Pujari that, hey, one of the sannyasis is coming, see if you can just clean it up and get one of the boys to do it. He did it, and the group of people came, our Swamiji is going, our brahmachari is going for to live in the cave, and this, that. Big paraphernalia, because he had his own devotees, and a packet of milk and a packet of fruit, a bag of fruits and this and that, and with everything he went and took a seat in the cave. And by the time the dusk came, what happens in India when the dusk comes? In Australia also in summer, mosquitoes come with it. And he was attacked by the mosquito, left, right and center. After 4 hours, he came down and he told Swamiji, Swamiji, I think I'll do it where I am. I dropped the idea of going to Himalayas. If this is going to be so difficult, see, we have to be real. Either you don't ask and do it. If you want to do it, you do it and face the consequences. The fact is that when we are asking, Swamiji, I want to go to Himalayas. You need permission to go to Himalayas. Do you ask permission, Swamiji, can I eat food? Do you ask permission, Swamiji, can I go to loo or go to a toilet or take shower or wear clothes? Why? When it comes to something like this, you have to take permission because you are not sure. So the reason I gave this example was that he could not handle the mosquitoes. So don't try to run away from where life has kept you. Wherever you are, that is the best place, and whatever the circumstances we find ourselves in are the required challenges. And every experience in our life is coming only for one reason, to push us towards our essential nature. For us to learn from it so that we can come back and be established in our essential nature. That is the perfect moment. But you run away from this, you have created a longer route for yourself. You have created more challenges for yourself. So he who is living in identification with the gross, subtle, for him alone, all the dvandva and the dvaita is available or is meaningful. So decide to get disidentified from the gross and the subtle. Sadhana, yoga abhyas, pranayam, japa sadhana, it's beneficial. To abide in the self, to destroy, to annihilate the jivahood, the individual, or to transform the individual I into the infinite I, then Vedanta is required. But that second part will not happen until, as an individual we are saying, until our mind is sufficiently purified, sufficiently single pointed. And for that some sadhana is required. Do it. Whether you do pranayam, whether you do japa sadhana, whether you do contemplation, but something you have to take. Or you can, every day it can be a different one. Whatever intuitively comes, you practice that. And whatever practice is going on, don't forget, it's happening in your presence. Keep that disposition. Continuing. Tamasagrastavad bhanad agrastopi ravirjanaihi grasta ityuchyate bhrantya yajñātvā vastu lakshanam tamasagrastavad agrastopi ravirjanaihi grasta ityuchyate bhrantya yajñātvā vastu lakshanam. Not knowing the reality behind solar eclipse, out of delusion, the ignorant people fear that the sun is eaten by Rahu. Similarly, the wise man, freed from the limitations of body identifications, although living through the body, is mistaken to be the body by the ignorant ones. After getting exposed to a little bit of knowledge, when you go to the ocean, your attention will always go to the water. In spite of the waves, it will go to the water. Immediately the thought comes, yeah, water is the reality. Waves are there, ocean is there, but water is the reality. The moment you wear ornament, immediately the attention goes to the gold. See? Similarly, see, this fear that we experience in life, there is no fear in the self. Fear is only there where we are attached. When we are extrovert, when we have desire for the world, then the fear comes. Will the desire be fulfilled or not? Or if someone is taking away whatever you are identified with. Yesterday only one boy was telling, he also does some sadhana in our house. And he follows the, Aurobindo, Swami Aurobindo from Pondicherry. So he follows him. So he says, Swamiji, I went this and I was feeling, a few years ago, I was feeling such a wonderful ecstasy and everything was getting pulled away from me and I felt, and I got afraid and I came back. And I broke that. And from that day onwards, it has never happened. Why? Fear. Fear. You were saying yesterday, when will God, all the troubles are happening, I don't have a job, my wife is in India, my child is in India, I haven't seen them for 2 years, I couldn't go for my mother's funeral. she passed away just last month. Couldn't go. Why is this all happening to me? If self is all, then why, when will all? I said, you decide what you want first. You want your family to come to you, or you to go to the family, or you want the self? You desire the self or you desire the family? Or are you using the journey to divinity to bless you with a good family life? This is what we do by going to temples and churches. Instead of wanting to dissolve in the divine, we go there with a list of requirements. I will do this puja, I will fast for so long. Lord, if you do this, I'll feed 100 people. It's like a bargain. The bargain is, I have all the desires and God has no desires but all power. I have all the desires but no power. Let's sign a MOU, Memorandum of Understanding. Your power and my desires. See? So we are not even clear what we want in life. If we want self and self alone, then all other extracurricular desires with regards to this world or the other world, all of them will become null and void. Then we don't want to establish anything. We don't want to make a prayer for benefit of the world, or for the benefit of the family, or for the benefit of the sick people, or for the benefit of the needy. Why? Everything is perfect the way it is. Because from the God's point of view, there is only, tell me someone, from God's point of view, what is there? From God's point of view, only God is there. Nothing else is other than God. Only divinity is there. From water's point of view, there is only water. We are superimposing. We are imagining the ocean and the wave on the water. So from divine's point of view, everything is divine. The wise man who has come to realize from his point of view, everything is the self or the divine. See? So this eclipse that is taking place. So what has, when the eclipse happens, it happened just few days, 21st of June it happened, no? We didn't experience it in Australia, but in Middle East and Iran and in Pakistan, India, they experienced it. They saw it. So what happens in eclipse? The huge orb of light called sun is covered by darkness. Is covered by darkness, is covered by the shadow. See? So what is covering? So does that mean that the sun is not there because the sun is covered by the shadow of the moon? Shadow of the moon? Is it? But people get afraid. People say it is inauspicious. You have to wash all your clothes, you have to empty out your fridges, you should not cook at that time. And so many things go on. At the worldly level, it is correct. You should not. You should do all that. But take a higher stand. Sun has never gone anywhere. It is still there. It is only a shadow. Similarly, the shadow of name and form has covered the water, which we call as waves. The shadow of the body is covering the self. Think. What are you? Are you afraid of the sun? No. Are you afraid of the shadow covering the sun? Yes. See? We become emotional when a husband dies or wife dies. Why? The husband was because of the shadow of the woman. So he was husband. So he becomes, lost. What will I do? Life is not worth living. Commit suicide. Because he was so attached. He didn't realize that he was a man first, husband later. Stretch it further. We are the self first. And the body is just a phenomena. Just like the husband, on the man, the husband was a phenomena. Husband was a shadow. Similarly, on the self, body is the shadow. Body identification is the shadow. And fear is always about the shadow. Husband is afraid of losing the wife. The father is afraid of losing the child. The wife is afraid of losing the husband. The individual is afraid of losing the body. Fear we are talking about here. A realized master, he is not afraid of anything. Why? Because he realizes he is all that there is. Self is all that there is. Phenomena, let it happen. Let the phenomena happen. We cannot stop the phenomena. And the phenomena is only for the people who are looking at the master. But for the master, there is no phenomena. For the master, it is all-inclusive vision. See? Similarly, the wise man freed from the limitation of body identification. When we say freed from the limitation of body identification, freedom here from the body does not mean giving up the body. No. Just like you have become, when you wake up in the morning, you have become free of body identification with the dream body. In the dream you had a body, you had relationships, you were some person. Are you even a bit disturbed or in crisis because you lost that body? No. See? For a few seconds you think about it, but after that it just zero. There's no impact of that dream on our mind at all. Why? Because we have taken the waker to be the real. We know dream is only a figment of imagination. It's the imagination of the mind. But waker is real. Now this Adi Shankaracharya here is telling, now understand, waker is also the imagination. The real one is the one who is witnessing the three. Then there will be no impact of the waking experience on the person. See? All answers are there in your life. Nothing the scriptures are talking, every verse that I am taking, something from our life. All over the years I have been telling only examples from our life, something that is going on in our life. From taking that as examples only, I expand on the verse. But we have given importance to we have put the importance in the wrong place. Our importance is on the waker rather than the self. Our importance is on the body rather than on the self. So when we say the body, the gross, subtle and causal, it is in the subtle body, the intellect, where the waking, dream and deep sleep are happening. It's not happening in the self. Then why do we get troubled? This Mahatma, similarly, the wise man, freed from the limitations of the body identification, although living through the body, is mistaken to be the body by ignorant ones. Just like we mistake the sun is setting and sun is rising, we mistake that the sun is in eclipse. Sun is not in eclipse. The shadow of the moon has come on the sun. Sun has not lost his light ever. He is ever as he is. It is the wrong understanding on our part. Similarly, the wise man is as he is. But our attention is on the eclipse, on the Rahu, on the darkness, on the ignorance. And what is it explained? Oh, this Mahatma also is hungry, this Atma is also sleeping, this Mahatma also gets angry. I don't think he's realized. We come to our conclusion. What? Our attention is not on the self. Our attention is on the form. Our attention is on the ignorance or the not self. Not self is ignorance. Body is not self. And in this way, understand and contemplate. With so much compassion, the teacher here is giving us these examples. Throughout the book, he has given so many examples. Maybe one will click. Maybe one will click. तद्वेदहादिबन्धेभ्यो विमुक्तं ब्रह्मवित्तमं पश्यन्ति देहिवन् मूढाः शरीराभासदर्शनात् तद्वेदहादिबन्धेभ्यो विमुक्तं ब्रह्मवित्तमं पश्यन्ति देहिवन् मूढाः शरीराभासदर्शनात्. He who has discarded the body identification and thereby is abiding in the absolute existence, for such a contemplative master, how can there be any reference of auspicious or inauspicious results or no result in his life? Now I am realized. Can the master come to this conclusion? Now I am realized. If that conclusion has come, he is still an individual. So all challenges, all shortcomings, all ignorance is at the level of body. It is at the level of matter. And the matter is fluctuating. You are not making it fluctuate. You are not making the mind think. You are not making the conviction happen. You are not making the breath go in and out. You are not making the senses function. In your presence, their body is growing or healthy or unhealthy. In your presence, the senses are functioning or not functioning. In your presence, the breath is coming in or out or not going, or doing a kumbhak. In your presence, the emotions are coming and going. In your presence, the convictions are happening, the thoughts are coming, the ideas are coming, the imaginations are coming and going. Let them happen. It is foolish to say that I am thinking, I am feeling, I am seeing, I am hearing. We have accepted the ignorance as I. We have accepted the ignorance as I. We have accepted that which is not, that which is asat, that which is untruth. That which is temporary is untruth, is asat, is ignorance as I. How much more disservice we can do to ourselves? And then we don't stop there. After having accepted the asat to be I, then we further imagine that I am husband, I am wife, I am mother, I am daughter, I am sister, I am auntie, I am grandmother. There's no end to it. There's no end to it. Stop leaking yourself through the various holes of ignorance or expressions of ignorance. And the only way to do that is by accepting yourself as the pristine, immaculate, eternal self. Accept it once and for all. And then start working. Once you accept it, half the battle is won. Then start working towards it. In every daily life, whatever you are doing, keep that on the forefront, that I am the eternal self. Automatically the question will come, then why am I doing this? Oh, I am not doing it, it's happening. Should I stop doing it? If I stop doing it, then I am desiring that I don't want to do it. If it is happening, let it happen. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. A different way of living will ensue from that moment onwards. The moment we accept that we are the eternal one, that we are the pure consciousness, the absolute consciousness. So he who has tadvedahadi bandhebhyo vimuktam brahmavittamam, he who has discarded the identification or bandhebhyo, the clutches of the identification, and vimuktam, and freed himself, and thereby is abiding, brahmavittamam, is abiding in the Brahman, the absolute, in the absolute existence. Pashyanti dehi van moodaha, for such a contemplative master, Pashyanti, he sees, dehi van moodaha, sharira bhasa darshanat, unlike the fools, unlike the ignorant ones, will he see the body as I? No. He sees it as an abhasa. Sharira abhasa darshanat. He sees the body only as an appearance. What is an appearance? Give some examples of appearance.
That exists in its absence.
Give example, I asked. Sunrise, sunset is existing in its own absence.
A mirage.
Mirage is existing in its own absence. Father, mother, daughter, sister are existing in their own absence. Don't stop there. Body is also existing in its own absence. Ornament is existing in its own absence. Wave, ocean is existing in its own absence. In fact, everything that has name and form is existing in its own absence. It is not real. So here it says, Sharira Abhasa Darshanat, such a master, he who has broken the clutch of ignorance and become disidentified from the body, then he sees the body only as an appearance. And you do it too. I gave you the example before. The reason you are not attached to your dream body is because you feel that the dream body was only an appearance, it was only an imagination. But you feel the gross body is real. No, this is equally an imagination. It is equally an appearance. You have to convince yourself. And such a person, how can there be any reference of auspicious? So the previous two verses, all the desires or no desires, merit or demerit, auspicious or inauspicious, joys or sorrows, honor or insult, divine or undivine. How can these opposites be? Here he says results or no results. How can there be any results or no results in his life? Results and no results, merits and demerits, all these opposites are for the one who is identified with the appearance. But the one who is independent, for him there is no result or no result or no result. For him there is no merit or demerit. For him there is no realization or bondage also. But till that doesn't happen, it is healthy to think we want to realize. But we are very clear that realization means thinking in this manner. That even the idea of realization must go out of us. And if the mind is thinking about realization, let the mind think. I am the one who is illuminating that thought also. First step. See, then ahi nir. What is the verse? Ahi nirvaya nivayam mukta dehastu tishtati. Ahi nirvaya nivayam mukta dehastu tishtati. Itastataschalyamano yatkinchit pranavayuna ahi nirvaya nivayam mukta dehastu tishtati itastataschalyamano yatkinchit pranavayuna. He says the body of the liberated master keeps on functioning by the process of respiration, just like the molted body of a snake moves in the air. We will get scared even of what is a molted body? When the snake drops its skin, it goes between two twigs, roots of a tree, and then as it passes through, the welting sort of takes place, molting takes place, and the whole skin comes off, and that skin just lies there and it just moves on. moves away. And in the breeze, if that snake is empty, empty shell, there's no body there, only the skin shell. But a person going away sees that moving, oh, snake, but there's no snake there. Exactly the same way, the body of a liberated master, now the body, he has transcended the body. It is a mere shell which the people are watching. It is a mere shell the people are seeing and interacting with. The owner has transcended. We, in our case, we are, I am this body. In case of the master, can he say I am the body? No. He sees that he is the one in every body. Sahasra Shirsha Purusha. His idea of the self has expanded ad infinitum. There is no end to it. So everything comes, just like you are here, the life that you are, is that life pervading every cell in your body? Yes. Do you have to think of every single cell? No. But if some cell says, oh, I'm not feeling well, you will go and take care of it, isn't it? But your disposition is, you are present equally in every cell of your body, without any like or dislike, without any preferences, without any options, without any desire. Equally available, this life is equally available to every organ and to every cell. Same way. Same way. The Mahatma is available to the entire cosmos. He doesn't see that he is not, he is only here. He is all that there is. I am all that there is in this body. There is no one else apart from the body. If I start saying that there is another one in the body, then I am schizophrenic. I feel I am the one in this body, isn't it? The same way, if I have to live, if this experience is there that I am the same one in every cell, then expand it to infinity. I am in and through everything. What will it be like? Contemplate. Make yourself available to that. You will vanish. We'll conclude here and we'll start from 551st verse in our next class. All these are beautiful pointers for us given by Adi Shankaracharya as the final instruction to the student. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sit quietly for a half a minute. Hari Om.
Hari Om, Ramji.
Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om Renuka.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om.
Thank you.
So today is Wednesday, right? Yeah, tomorrow class. Gita.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Hari Om. See you, Kripa.
See you, Swamiji.
Enjoy the lockdown, everyone.
Will do.
Yeah, best opportunity. Nothing to do, nowhere to go.
Contemplate.
Contemplate. That's it.
Thank you.
What is that?
You are okay.
Aham eva aham.
Aham eva aham. That's right. Aham eva aham. I alone am. Hmm. Fantastic. Chalo, take care.
Sorry, thank you.
Subramaniam, what's the time there?
It's 12 o'clock, sir.
Perfect lunchtime.
Lunchtime. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, good, good.
We have had food for thought. Now we're going to have food for the worldly body.
Let the phenomena take care of itself. You remain the witness.
Correct.
Don't own it.
Don't worry. Yes. Hari Om, sir. Thank
Chalo,
you.
take care.